Wow. PSA, UK and Ireland, this stage, look at this stage. How cool is it to be up here? Raise your hands if you would like to stand on stages like this around the world. Now, I would like one person to help me with my speech. Who would like... No, stay there. You've done the big bit. You've stood up. Just give us your name, please. Des Taylor. Thank you, Des. Please sit down. I will come back to you a little bit later. So excited. As excited as I am to get up here. I'm going to go back in time a little bit to when I stood in a room like this sort of size, but I was out there and I was curly-haired, blue-eyed, little boy, white pop socks, grey flannel shorts, a green shirt, T-shirt, and I had a scarf on with a woggle. Dib, 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 dob, dob, dob. And the Arcala who was standing up here said, "Who would like to be a sixer?" I will. I had no idea what a sixer was. I don't know about you lot. Anyone got an idea what a sixer is? You're a sixer. We look after 6 of our friends. You have a group. You are the leader of the pack. And it was my first leadership role. And I was standing there, and as I was told what I had to do, I started shaking and thinking, oh my God, how am I going to look after my friends and make sure that they enjoy themselves? And I thought back to something my father had told me. He passed away this February. He told me, do unto others as you would like done unto you. So I thought, what would I like to do? How would I like that sixer to be? And I thought, I'd like it to be fun. So I made it fun for them. I made tying knots fun. I made making fires fun. I made camping out fun. And it made me popular. Everyone liked me, and I liked being liked. And that was the start of my journey. A few years later, and I'm at college, I'm studying to be an optician. And we're in a big room, and there was much more people there then. And they said, who would like to be the social secretary? I will. And I was suddenly the social secretary. Now, back in those days, I don't know if the younger ones here will remember this, we used to get given money by the government to spend. I had thousands of pounds, literally, to spend on entertaining everyone in college. How cool is that? The best job in the world. And at the end of each term, whatever was left, we had a massive wine and cheese party. I was everybody's friend. I became very popular. And I realized making things fun is how you become popular, but it's also how you get people to do things. Let's move on a little bit. We sold our business as a family business, and it was now the end of the 80s. I don't know how many of you remember what happened at the end of the 80s. There was a thing called acid house music and the rave scene. Now, I saw some of you dancing to some of the tunes last night, and I was jiggling at the back, but I was too focused on this speech to actually get up on this floor and dance. But at that time, I loved it, and I wanted to go to as many parties as I could. And someone said to me, who would like to manage us and look after us and help us build this? I will. And suddenly I was running a DJ agency. You don't know how cool that was. 3, 4, 5 nights a week, I was invited to all the best parties. I sat with the DJs. We had a table with drinks, everything we could possibly want. After about 2 years, I said, I better go back to being an optician or else I'm going to die. Spoiler alert, I went back to being an optician. So I went back to being an optician, and again, I was building my reputation, building my brand, because I didn't want to be just an optician working in a shop. And I specialized in sunglasses to the point that I became known as Mr. Sunglasses. I was on the radio. I was writing for newspapers. I had a regular article in What Car magazine because I said to them, you know, sunglasses are a driving accessory. So why do you just have the Motorola radios and things like that? Put sunglasses. They loved the idea. And I got to write for them and got my name out there. And of course, it built my brand. All because I was saying, yes, I'll do this. And I was really a big lover of fashion. I always used to shop at Dolce & Gabbana in Milan. And so I said, you know what? I love the black label suits. I love the special stuff. Why don't we have something like that in eyewear? And I became, because I said yes, the first non-Italian designer who designed a collection of Dolce & Gabbana. So I said, I will. And by doing this, I moved forward and I grew and people got to know me to the point that when I said, you know what, I've had enough of England. I want to expand myself. I want to move to other places. The CEO of Sunglass Hut, you probably have heard of Sunglass Hut, was a good friend of mine, and he called me up one day. He said, you keep telling us you want to move out of England. Have you ever thought about Moscow? I said, is that by the sea? I knew it wasn't. He said, there's an amazing job in Moscow going, and they believe they're looking for a product director, and you are the expert on eyewear product. Would you like to do it? I will. The next day I met up with the owner of this company. That was on a Friday. In January, I was flown out there. I looked around Moscow. I was given a 7-star tour. And on the Sunday, I thought back to a Tony Robbins event I had been to just 3 months earlier. And I learnt this thing from Tony, which is go with what you feel. And I knew it from time before. I'd done this. Yeah, I will. And so what I did is I got on board and I said, sign me up now, I'm coming. And I did a 2.5-year contract, ended up staying there for 11 years. And I built this business. We had a great time there. But I also, when I was there, met some guys, and I said, I used to run a DJ agency and did some music. And it just turns out one of these guys was a producer of clubs, promoter of clubs, and he said to me, would you like to play in the local DJ bar? There was only one DJ bar in Moscow at that time. He said, would you like to play there? I said, I'd love to do that. And that was on a Friday, and on the Monday, he called me up, and he said, let's go down to that bar I was talking to you about on Friday. I said, great. And he said, will you play? I will. And I got to play at this great place. And there was a guy in the corner who said, I love that music. And he sent someone over, and they said to me, there's an oligarch in the corner who would like you to play at his birthday party. He said, you'll get as much alcohol and women as you like. I will. And that's what I did. And because of that, I got taken to 15 cities in Russia as a guest star DJ, because I was living in Russia, and I got to tour all over, as far as Vladivostok, Rostov-on-Don, all over Russia. And I was given these incredible experiences because I said, I will. When I got to Spain, several years later, I joined Toastmasters. And I decided I want to use my voice. I wanted to stand on stage and do different things. And when I joined Toastmasters, they asked who would like to be in the committee. I will. And I became president of our club, and I helped it develop. And it was amazing. But we heard earlier, Toastmasters takes you so far. And a few of us Toastmasters in Barcelona said, let's form a PSA. And we formed the PSA of Spain. And I was one of the founder members, not one of the founders, but one of the founder members. And I was asked at some point, well, actually, we were asked, who would like to organize some of the events? I will. And I did. And because I organized some of those events, we were asked, who would like to talk on stage? I will. And last year, I had the pleasure of being seen on stage by some of the people in this room, but particularly one who's not here, Chantal. And when there was a call for speakers here, I said, I will. And that's how I arrived on this stage. That's my life journey to get here. Now, earlier on we were said, show, don't tell. Another Steve said that. And so the reason I bring that up is because some of you might have been in a breakout room and had done a course. And this is my book. It's not my book, I didn't write it. But I was the one who put my hand up and said, I will. And I went to the front and I was given this book as a present. The message I want to give to all of you is we stand here on stages, and we've heard it from many great people who've talked to us over this weekend, that this is about service. I've told you my stories. That was a bit about me, but I've told you them because I want you to understand that when we stand up, when we volunteer, and I call volunteering service without expectation. We do it for others. We put ourselves forward, and when we do, we get incredible returns. We get the opportunity to stand on stages like this. There was one person who shot up. Des, can you stand up again, please? Can you come and join me on stage? And can we all give Des a big round of applause? Des offered to help me. And what I wanted was one person, because this event is about standing out. And I'm a great believer that when you put your hand up, when you say, I will, when you stand up, you stand out. Now, everyone else in the room, you're seeing Des. You're seeing me in my bright red jacket, which arrived because I wanted to stand out. I wanted to stand out not for me, but for you. I wanted you all to get this point that when we stand up and say yes, when we do things for others, we stand out. And there's been an incredible group in the background. We've had them, please stand up. Everyone who's put in their voluntary time here, everyone who's volunteered and made this weekend such a success. And everyone else now, I'd like you all to stand up and give them a massive round of applause because this has been brilliant. If you can stand up. And while you're standing, I'm just going to do that cheeky little thing, and I'd like to get a picture of this standing ovation. Come and stand in. Because that's what it's all about. Thank you so much.